But that's not what happened, and the weight of what did happen had been growing heavier, not lighter. Because that's what we don't tell people about trauma. Time doesn't heal it. Time just teaches you how to carry it better, unless you do something different, unless you stop carrying it and start listening to what it's trying to say. The surgeon had hands that could do impossible things, could reconnect nerves thinner than hair, could repair hearts that had stopped beating, could take broken bodies and make them whole again. Everyone said the surgeon had a gift, but the surgeon knew the truth. It wasn't a gift, it was a debt. The surgeon's younger sibling had been sick years ago, treatable, curable, but the surgeon, not a surgeon yet, just a teenager who didn't know any better, had ignored the signs, thought it was normal fatigue, normal complaints, normal kid stuff. By the time adults got involved, the window for easy treatment had closed. The sibling survived, but barely, and with complications that would last a lifetime. So, the surgeon had made a silent vow: master the body, learn everything, become the person who never misses a sign, never overlooks a symptom, never lets someone slip through the cracks because of ignorance or inattention. Save everyone, fix everything, prove that the guilt can be converted into purpose. Except you can't save everyone, and every patient the surgeon couldn't save became another weight added to the original one, another failure, another proof that no amount of skill could erase what had happened to the sibling, what the surgeon had failed to prevent. The teacher stood at the front of a classroom but wasn't really there, was somewhere else, 14 years in the past, when the teacher had been a student, when another student, quiet, sitting in the back, barely visible, had asked for help. Not with homework, with something bigger, something darker, something the teacher was too young and too scared to know how to handle. The teacher had said something, probably the wrong thing, probably something that sounded helpful but was actually dismissive. Something like, "It gets better," or "Don't worry so much," or "You'll be fine." The kind of thing people say when they don't want to see how deep the water really is. 2 weeks later, the quiet student wasn't in class anymore and didn't come back. Ever. The teacher never found out exactly what happened, never asked, too afraid of the answer, but carried the weight of not asking, the weight of saying the easy thing instead of the true thing, the weight of being too scared to really see someone who was asking to be seen. So the teacher became someone who saw everyone, learned every name, noticed every absence, asked the hard questions, created a classroom where no one could be invisible, turned guilt into vigilance, turned failure into a mission, became the person they should have been 14 years ago. Except vigilance is exhausting, and you can't save students from themselves, and every kid who slipped away, moved schools, dropped out, disappeared into whatever darkness they were fighting, became another weight, another failure, another proof that being better now doesn't erase who you were then. 3 people, 3 different weights, but the same pattern underneath, trying to fix the past by controlling the present, trying to earn redemption through perfection, trying to prove that one mistake doesn't define an entire life. Except it does. That's the thing we don't want to admit. The mistake does define you, not because it limits you, because it made you. The person you are now only exists because of what happened then, and you can spend your whole life running from that truth, or you can turn around and finally look at it. The fire that changed everything started in an old apartment building, 6 floors, cheap construction, residents who couldn't afford anywhere else. The call came at 3:20 in the morning. The firefighters' crew arrived in 7 minutes, already too late to stop it, only late enough to get people out. The firefighter moved on autopilot, years of training, muscle memory, floor by floor, room by room, check every corner, get everyone out. Don't think, just move. 4th floor, a door that wouldn't open. Kicked it in, smoke so thick it was like swimming in ink. A shape in the corner, person or furniture. Had to check, always check. Crawled across the floor, reached the shape, not a person, a dog, big one, unconscious from smoke. And in that moment, the firefighter heard it, a voice, from the past. The person who didn't make it out 11 years ago. Not actually their voice, but the memory of it, calling from the right door, the one the firefighter didn't choose. And the firefighter realized, I'm still trying to choose differently, still trying to save the person I couldn't save, still trying to change the past by perfecting the present. The firefighter picked up the dog, not because it would fix anything, because it was there. Carried it down 4 flights of stairs, handed it to the paramedics, went back in for another sweep. Got everyone out, everyone living anyway. Did the job, did it right, but felt nothing. No satisfaction, no relief, just emptiness where the weight used to be. Sat down on the curb when it was over, took off the helmet, and started laughing. Not happy laughter, not manic laughter, just laughter, because the absurdity of it had finally landed. 11 years of trying to save everyone to make up for one person. 11 years of carrying a weight that was never meant to be carried. 11 years of running from a truth that was actually trying to set them free. The paramedic asked if they were okay. The firefighter looked up with tears streaming down their face and said, I just realized I've been trying to change something that already happened, and it's never going to change, ever. And that's okay. It has to be okay, because it's the only thing that's true. The surgeon was in the middle of a routine operation when it happened. Routine for the surgeon, anyway. Life or death for the patient. 7 hours in, focused, precise, everything going exactly as planned. And then, a complication. Not catastrophic, manageable, but unexpected. The surgical team handled it, adjusted, compensated. The patient would be fine. But something in the surgeon cracked, not from the complication, from the reaction to it. The spike of panic, the flash of fear, the voice that said, you missed something, you failed again. And in that moment, in the middle of the surgery, with hands inside another human being's body, the surgeon finally saw it clearly. I'm not healing anyone, I'm punishing myself. Every patient is the sibling. Every surgery is an attempt to go back in time and pay attention differently, to see what I didn't see, to fix what I broke. But I can't. It's not possible. And trying to do the impossible isn't dedication, it's delusion. It's a refusal to accept that I was a kid, that I didn't know, that I couldn't have known, that being human means sometimes you don't see things until it's too late to see them differently. The surgery ended. The patient was stable. The surgeon walked out of the operating room, pulled off the mask, and sat down in the hallway. Just sat there, staring at nothing, feeling everything. The weight of every patient who didn't make it, the weight of the sibling, the weight of believing that perfection was the price of forgiveness. A nurse sat down next to the surgeon, didn't say anything, just sat there. Finally, after maybe 10 minutes, the surgeon said quietly, I can't fix what happened. I've been trying for 20 years, and I can't. I'll never be able to. So what do I do now? The nurse didn't have an answer, but the question itself was the beginning, the first honest question in 20 years. The teacher was reading student journals, an assignment about difficult moments. Most of them were surface level, safe, the kind of thing you write when you're really not writing. But one journal was different. A student, junior, quiet, sat in the middle row, had written about wanting to disappear, not metaphorically, actually disappear. Stop existing, stop being a burden, stop taking up space.
The teacher's hands started shaking, because this was it, the moment from 14 years ago, the moment that had created the weight. Except this time, the teacher was the adult. This time, the teacher could do it differently. This time, the teacher could be the person who really saw, really listened, really helped. Except the teacher was frozen. Because what if saying something made it worse? What if asking the hard questions pushed the student over an edge they were already standing on? What if trying to help actually hurt? What if the right thing 14 years ago was actually the right thing, and the quiet student who disappeared would have disappeared anyway, and the teacher had been carrying guilt for something that wasn't their fault? The teacher sat there with the journal open and finally understood, I can't control this.
I can't save this student by wanting it badly enough. I can't undo the past by perfecting the present. All I can do is show up, be honest, ask the real questions, and accept that sometimes the answer is out of my hands. Sometimes the weight we carry isn't ours to carry. It's just weight we picked up because we were there when something heavy happened. The teacher closed the journal, took a breath, and made a decision. I'm going to talk to this student. I'm going to be honest about not knowing what to say. I'm going to admit that I'm scared. I'm going to ask for help from people who know more than I do. And I'm going to stop pretending that caring harder will protect anyone from pain. Because it won't. Pain is part of this. Fear is part of this. Uncertainty is part of this. And pretending otherwise isn't help, it's avoidance. 3 people, 3 moments of breaking. But the breaking wasn't failure. It was the beginning of something true. Here's what happened next. Not immediately, not dramatically, but slowly. In the days and weeks after the breaking. The firefighter stopped trying to be perfect, started being present, showed up to fires and did the work without carrying every outcome like a personal verdict, saved people when it was possible, mourned people when it wasn't, stopped confusing responsibility with omnipotence, stopped believing that being good at the job meant never losing anyone. And something unexpected happened. Became better at the job. Not more skilled, more human. Could read situations more clearly because wasn't reading them through the filter of old guilt. Could make decisions more quickly because wasn't second-guessing every choice against a choice from 11 years ago. Could connect with other firefighters who were carrying their own weights and say, I see you. I know what that weight feels like, and I'm here to tell you that you can put it down. Started a peer support group. Just showed up at the station one day and said, anyone want to talk about the calls that don't leave? 8 people showed up. No one said much, but everyone came back, week after week, creating space for the truth. The truth that heroism doesn't mean never failing. It means failing and showing up anyway. Carrying what you can carry, releasing what you can't, knowing the difference, learning to live with both. The surgeon took a leave of absence, first time in 15 years. Didn't go anywhere, just stayed home, slept, read books that had nothing to do with medicine, sat in the garden, let the mind rest, let the hands be still, let the driving need to fix everything slowly dissolve into something quieter. Called the sibling, the conversation they'd been avoiding for years, expected anger, expected blame, expected confirmation that everything the surgeon had been carrying was deserved. But that's not what happened. The sibling said, I never blamed you. You were sick. You were a kid. There was nothing you could have done. I've been living my life. You've been living my sickness. And I need you to stop. Because watching you punish yourself is harder than anything the illness ever did to me. The surgeon cried. Not the crying of release. The crying of finally seeing something that had been true all along. The sibling had moved on, had built a life, had adapted, had found meaning. The only person who hadn't moved on was the surgeon. The only person still trapped in that moment was the one who thought they were trying to escape it.
When the leave ended, the surgeon went back to work, but different. Could still do the impossible things with those skilled hands, but wasn't doing them to earn forgiveness anymore. Was doing them because healing matters, because skill in service of life is its own reward, because being good at something doesn't require a tragic backstory. It just requires showing up and doing the work with full attention. Started teaching, medical students, residents, not just technique, the other thing, the thing no one talks about, that you will lose patience, that some of them will haunt you, that the weight is real and heavy and yours to carry. But it doesn't have to define every moment. It can just be one moment, painful, permanent, but not totalizing. You can be someone who failed once and succeeded 1,000 times. You can be both. You are both. The teacher talked to the student. It was hard. It was scary. It was uncertain, but it was real. Said, I read your journal and I need you to know, I don't have answers. I'm not going to tell you it gets better because I don't know if it does. What I know is that I see you and I'm scared for you and I need you to talk to someone who can actually help. not just me, someone trained for this. The student looked at the teacher for a long time, finally said, "You're the first person who didn't try to fix it. Everyone else wants to fix it. You're just here." "I'm here," the teacher agreed, "and I'll keep being here. But you need more than here. You need help, real help. Will you let me connect you to someone?" The student nodded, small nod, but it was enough. The teacher walked the student to the counselor's office, stayed while they talked, didn't try to manage it, didn't try to control the outcome, just held the space, showed up, let the professionals do their work, accepted that this was enough, that being present was enough, that you don't have to save everyone to matter, you just have to show up for the moments that are yours to show up for. And something shifted, not just with the student, with all the students, because the teacher stopped performing certainty and started modeling honesty, stopped pretending to have all the answers and started asking better questions, stopped trying to be the person who saves everyone and became the person who sees everyone. There's a difference. One is impossible, the other is just difficult, and difficult is something humans can actually do. Maybe this is landing for you. Maybe you're recognizing something in these stories, something about your own weight, your own guilt, your own endless attempt to fix the past by perfecting the present. If that's true, if you're seeing yourself in this, then I need you to do something, not for me, for the person reading comments who's wondering if they're the only one carrying something unbearable. Leave a comment. Tell the truth about your weight. Not the whole story, just one sentence, one true thing, because your truth might be the permission someone else needs to put their weight down. That's how we do this, together, telling the truth, building a place where the weights can be seen, named, honored, and finally, maybe, released. A year later, the firefighter was training new recruits, teaching them the technical stuff, the ladders, the hoses, the procedures, but also teaching them the other thing, the thing that matters more. Brought them to sit in a circle, said, "Tell me about a call you can't forget." Silence. New recruits didn't want to admit vulnerability, didn't want to seem weak. The firefighter understood, had been there, so went first. 11 years ago, I made a choice. 3 seconds to decide. Went left instead of right. Someone didn't make it out. I carried that for over a decade. Tried to save everyone after that to make up for the one person I couldn't save. It almost destroyed me. Not the trauma, the inability to accept the trauma, the refusal to be human.
One recruit spoke up, barely a whisper. "I froze on my first real call. Couldn't move. Another firefighter had to physically push me to get me going. I've been terrified it'll happen again." "It might," the firefighter said. "Not cruelly, honestly. And if it does, you'll deal with it. You'll learn from it. You'll become someone who knows what freezing feels like and can recognize it in others. The mistake isn't the freezing. The mistake is pretending you're superhuman. We're not superhuman. We're just humans who run toward fire. And sometimes humans freeze. Sometimes humans make the wrong choice. Sometimes humans fail. And we have to be able to hold that truth and still show up the next day." The circle opened. Story after story, weight after weight, creating space for the truth that saves lives, not the truth that everyone lives, the truth that we're human, that being human means sometimes you can't save everyone, and that's not a failure of character, it's a fact of reality. The surgeon was in the operating room, routine procedure, everything going well, and in the middle of it felt something new, not pressure, not fear, not the weight of every patient who didn't make it, just presence. Hands doing what they knew how to do, mind fully here, fully now. Not trying to redeem the past, not trying to prove anything, just working, skillfully, carefully, with the attention that matters. After the surgery, a resident approached, young, eager, scared of failing. The surgeon saw that fear, remembered it, said, "You're going to lose patients. I need you to know that now. You're going to do everything right
and still lose patience, and it's going to break something in you. But that breaking is important. It means you're human. It means you care. The danger isn't the breaking. The danger is spending the rest of your career trying to prove the breaking didn't happen. Let it break you, then learn to live with the breaking. That's the work. The resident looked terrified. Good. Terror means you understand the stakes. Terror means you're taking this seriously. The surgeon smiled. You're going to be good at this, not because you're perfect, because you're willing to face your imperfection. That's the difference between a good surgeon and a dangerous one. Dangerous ones believe they can't fail. Good ones know they can and show up anyway. The teacher was reading journals again. End of the year, reflecting on the year. One journal stood out. The student from earlier in the year, the one who had wanted to disappear, wanted to stop taking up space. The journal entry read, "This was the worst year of my life, but also the year I started being honest about how bad it was. Mr./Ms. Teacher didn't try to fix me, just saw me, stayed with me, let me be broken without trying to glue me back together. And somehow that made space for me to start gluing myself back together. I'm not fixed, I'm not better, but I'm here, and I'm learning that being here is enough." The teacher sat with that journal for a long time, cried, not from sadness, from relief, from understanding. The student was right. The teacher hadn't fixed anything, hadn't saved anyone, had just shown up, been present, held space, and somehow that had been enough. Created a new policy in the classroom. First day of school, told the students, "I'm not here to have all the answers. I'm here to help you ask better questions. And sometimes the best questions don't have answers. They just have truths. Hard truths, painful truths, truths that make space for you to become more yourself, more real, more honest. I'm going to fail you sometimes. You're going to fail me sometimes. We're going to fail each other. And that's not the end. That's just the middle. And the middle is where all the real work happens." The students looked confused. They'd get it eventually. Or they wouldn't. Either way, the teacher had stopped trying to control outcomes, started trusting process, started believing that showing up with honesty was more valuable than showing up with certainty. 3 people who had carried impossible weights. 3 people who discovered that the weight was never theirs to carry. 3 people who put it down. Not dramatically, not completely, but enough. Enough to breathe, enough to be present, enough to start living in the moment they were actually in instead of the moment they were trying to change.
You're carrying something. I know you are. Everyone is. Some weight from the past, some failure, some moment you can't change but can't stop trying to change. Some person you couldn't save, some choice you wish you'd made differently, some version of yourself you're trying to prove isn't the real you. And you've been carrying it so long that you've forgotten what it feels like not to carry it. You've built your entire life around this weight. Your career, your relationships, your identity. Everything organized around this central mission. Prove that the weight is wrong about you. Prove that you're not the person who failed. Prove that you can be perfect enough to make up for being imperfect once. But here's what I need you to hear. You can't prove it, because it's not a question of proof. It's a question of acceptance. The thing that happened, it happened. The person you couldn't save, they weren't saved. The choice you made it. The failure, it failed. And no amount of striving or achieving or perfecting will change the basic fact. You are human, and humans fail. And failure doesn't need to be fixed. It needs to be accepted. Not celebrated, not denied, accepted, seen, named, honored for what it taught you, mourned for what it cost, and then, this is the hard part, released, let go of, put down, left in the past where it belongs instead of carried into every present moment as proof of your unworthiness. You think the weight makes you better, more careful, more dedicated, more compassionate, and maybe it did, for a while. But now it's just making you tired.
It's making you perform instead of be. It's making you manage instead of feel. It's making you try to control everything because you couldn't control one thing. And control is exhausting. Control is impossible. Control is a refusal to be human. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Not telling, asking. Because this is yours to choose. No one can make you put down your weight. You have to decide it's time. Ask yourself, what would I do if I wasn't trying to fix the past? Who would I be if I wasn't trying to prove that one moment doesn't define me? How would I show up if I accepted that I'm both the person who failed and the person who succeeded? That I'm both the mistake and the recovery? That I'm both broken and whole at the same time? And then, and this is the hardest part, start experimenting with that version of yourself. Not all at once, not dramatically, just in small moments. Moments when you notice yourself performing perfection. Moments when you catch yourself trying to save everyone. Moments when you realize you're making this moment about that moment. And in those moments, pause, breathe. Ask, what does this moment actually need? Not what does my past need? What does right now need? Sometimes the answer is action. Sometimes it's rest. Sometimes it's honesty. Sometimes it's letting someone else handle it. Sometimes it's accepting that you can't handle it, and that's okay. That's human. That's real. That's enough. The photograph I told you about at the beginning, the firefighter sitting on the curb, smiling, crying, looking like someone who just discovered something impossible and true at the same time. Someone asked them later what they were smiling about. The firefighter thought about it, finally said, I just realized that I've been trying to grow wings so I could fly back in time, and it's never going to work. Time only goes one direction. So all this weight I've been carrying, all this guilt, all this trying to fix what can't be fixed, I've been using it to try to build wings. And wings don't work backward. They only work forward. So I can either keep carrying this weight and stay on the ground, or I can put it down and see what forward looks like.
You don't need wings to go backward. You need acceptance. You need honesty. You need the courage to stop performing and start being. You need the willingness to be both broken and whole, to be both the failure and the fighter, to be both the weight and the person carrying it, all at the same time, without needing to resolve the contradiction, without needing one side to cancel out the other. This is your invitation, not to fix yourself, to accept yourself, not to become someone new, to remember who you were before you picked up the weight, not to forget what happened, to stop letting what happened be the only thing that matters. You are more than your worst moment. You are more than your greatest failure. You are more than the weight you've been carrying. You always have been. It's time to remember. Put it down. See what happens. See who you are without it. See what forward looks like. The ground will hold you, I promise.